Welcome back. I am coming at you from the very futuristic city, Houston. And as you know, NASA is here. NASA is, if you can believe this or not, just down the street from me. And I thought it would be fun to talk about the past, present, and future of Mars travel, colonization, and some of the events in this week's episode, Total Recall. In January 2004, about 80 years before the events of Total Recall take place, two robotic geologists named Spirit and Opportunity landed on opposite sides of the Red Planet. These robotic explorers trekked across the Martian surface, conducting field geology and making atmospheric observations, carrying identical, sophisticated sets of scientific instruments. Both rovers have found evidence of ancient Martian environments where intermittently wet and habitable conditions existed. No word yet on whether the core of Mars comprised of solid ice. Since leaving their landing sites, the twin rovers have sent thousands of high-quality, high-resolution, full-color images of the Martian terrain, as well as detailed microscopic images of rocks and soils to Earth. 4 different spectrometers have amassed unparalleled information about the chemical and mineralogical makeup of Martian rocks and soil. Special rock abrasion tools never before sent to another planet allowed scientists to peer beneath the dusty and weathered surfaces of rocks to examine their interiors. Again, no word on an icy core that would dramatically change the atmosphere of the Red Planet and free the mutants from the power of Cohagen. And Mars was once wet and warm, but it is now a cold, dry, barren place. The atmosphere is thin and mainly comprised of carbon dioxide. Ultraviolet and other forms of intense radiation bathe the surface, and since Mars has a thin atmosphere and no active magnetic field to protect it. Again, that's because an icy core has not been detonated and allowed an atmosphere to thrive, supposedly. NASA's Mars exploration program has 5 operating missions to help address these questions. Additionally, other countries and space agencies have missions at Mars right now in conjunction with NASA. And NASA has ambitious plans to continue studying Mars using the latest technologies and knowledge. For more than 2 decades, NASA has had a fleet of spacecraft orbiters, landers, and rovers, and even a technology demonstration helicopter exploring the Red Planet from various points. So theoretically, if Quaid wanted to go back to Mars, he could tell someone to get to the chopper. This approach to exploration has already dramatically increased humanity's knowledge of the planet and will continue to do so in the coming years and decades. In February 2021, when a freak snowstorm hit Houston, the Perseverance rover was exploring Mars in a completely different climate. Perseverance has collected and cached samples of Mars rocks and its atmosphere. Currently in progress is planning and development for the Mars Sample Return campaign. Now, this campaign involves multiple spacecrafts to pick up the samples, launch a rocket to carry them into the Mars orbit, and then rendezvous with a Earth-bound craft to carry all of this back to us. Once on Earth, the samples will be analyzed by sophisticated equipment too large and heavy for transport to Mars. So it's kind of an opposite Armageddon scenario that we're working with here. Scientists for generations to come will use the samples to determine whether life has ever existed on Mars and even whether it still exists. Other companies and countries have become very interested in Mars. For example, the Mars Sample Return Campaign is a joint venture of NASA and the European Space Agency, along with the United Emirates and a Japanese orbiter, a Chinese rover, and a SpaceX Dragon capsule. So NASA is planning to send humans to Mars sometime in the future. Preparations are being made primarily through NASA's robotic exploration in collaboration with NASA's Human Exploration and Operations Mission Directorate and Space Technology Mission Directorates. The Mars 2020 mission with its Perseverance rover is helping us understand the current weather, winds, radiation, and dust environment, and is demonstrating technologies that could help future humans explore Mars. So NASA has only about 60 years to go until total recall can become a reality. And you know that mission control at NASA right here in Houston will play a significant role in this momentous leap for mankind. Until then, hit the subscribe button like it's an exploding head and get your ass to the podcast where we drop episodes every Thursday. We appreciate our listeners, our viewers, and all of our support. And until then, we'll see you next time.